What is good, guys? We're finally back to my highly anticipated video. Now this video is gonna make you guys think everything about the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War arc, as well as the original anime of cutscenes and things that I think that was addressed that we missed. So from the beginning, we knew that Captain Yamamoto created the 13 Card Guard squads. Under whose jurisdiction, we don't know. We know that from what we know from the 1000-Year Blood War arc, he found some bandits of mercenaries that were killers, thus creating the very first foundation of the 13 Card Guard squads. Upon from that, a linchpin that were separated from them as this was being created. One of the Zero Company squad members, titled Ichibei, created a separate organization group that finds itself to protect the Soul King. The Soul King is as like the president or one of the deities that governs the entire world of Bleach. The Zero Company, which was introduced in the first core of the 1000-Year Blood War arc, were not only founders of their respective contribution into the Soul Society, but that they are one of the bigger, higher tiers of characters that only arise when the world is in deep chaos. The fact that those members didn't even show up when Aizen was messing up the world, but also acknowledged Aizen's abilities, right? That goes to show how important Aizen's plot to create the Oken, which are the bones of Squad Zero, which are the gates to get into the Royal Palace, right? So as you guys following along, I have a crazy prediction that could either go into Core 4 or Core 3. A lot of people been mentioning, why haven't we seen Aizen's Bankai? I have millions of ways that the Bankai was already explained to us. We only seen the Shikai, right? When we got to the Royal Palace and the Squad Zero members were explaining their contribution and what made their significant growth as a Zero Company, they were also blessed by Rayo, which is the name of the Soul King, which the person that they protect and govern. Little did anybody know, I started speculating that the Soul King and Aizen has a weird, some sort of connection. And for one, maybe or so, the Soul King knows and aware of Aizen's existence as well. He knows the threat that was posed. That's why he even called upon the Squad Zero after the destruction of Captain Yamamoto to bring Ichigo up to either train or to be a candidate in case of some sort of replacement. The persons that are followed Ryo's understanding is Ichibei Yosabe, which is the leader or one of the higher ups of the Zero Company, and one of the strongest people I think we'll see because of his abilities and his understanding of the world. The Soul King is one of the primal beings of the original world, from what we have told. Kisuke Urahara is an interesting character that will be brought up into this video. Kisuke has an ability or understanding of growth, and that he was one of the person that created the Hogyoku, which was the very first thing that was mentioned in not only the original Bleach, but this was one of the reasons why Aizen started speculating and understanding how the world works. He used the soul of the Karakura Town people to try to create the Oken. From what the Zero Company Shinjumaru mentioned, that Ichigo, the fact that you stopped Aizen, we are truly grateful, because Aizen was considered evil and pure evil. But she also mentioned that the people that they're versing now are even more terrible than you could imagine. So that leads me on to my prediction. I wanted to explain this backstory as I get into mine. If you look at Aizen's transformation, which is in the chapter as well as the anime, which are called dice, the different level of dice. The first dice we saw was that Aizen's first form is where he merged with the Hyogoku with his skin. The second form of the Hyogoku is when his entire body is start getting engulfed into the form as we see. Each form, in some weird way, because of Aizen's mindset of godly complex, he started transforming and looking more and more like the Soul King, or what he thought the Soul King may have looked like, and his forms or transformation. Now, the Soul King is a representation of everything that has happened in this world, or in the original world. So we could even state that the Soul King had forms to combat characters that we haven't seen before. So upon us looking at the core 2, which I started reading the manga as well as the anime, which I will be covering soon on my channel, I started realizing that not only Aizen's Hyogoku was responding to the wish of Aizen, but remember, the Hyogoku has certain parts of Matsumoto, which her contribution was that some of her powers came from the Soul King, and Aizen was collecting souls as well as different fragments of residue of the Soul King on Earth. Like the fingernails are also part of the reason why fullblings have their abilities, right? So when Aizen started transforming, certain characters in the manga as well as the anime looks very similar to Aizen's transformation. For one, we have Lilibero, which is Stern Raider X. His ability to look more like a butterfly-like demon looks very similar to what Aizen looked like when he started transforming with the help of the Hogyoku. Lilibero went from being the X-axis to this monstrous angelic being in the manga. Further on, I believe Aizen's Bankai is an amalgamation of certain things from the Soul King. For one, we know that in the training of Ichigo Hirari Sendo, we saw that the Soul King sacrificed himself to make sure the three worlds were stable and were created. So I believe the left leg and the right leg of the Soul King is the joint Bankai that makes up Aizen's Bankai. That's why those Bankais are responsive with his Hogyoku, because they're all in one. I believe that if that is the case, then my theory, you'll be the first to hear this theory here first. I believe the left leg of the Soul King and the right leg are Aizen's Bankai. Just like Utkitake's Mimihage, which is the right hand, and Pernita, which is the left hand, are separate parts of the Soul King, it would not be a surprise to me if that would be the case. That would explain the knowledge and the illusion abilities that the Soul King legs could have other abilities. Because his Bankai Kukai Sugetsu are literally Bankais that could see complete illusions, and it will never go away, which is even insane if you think about it. So I truly believe that his Bankai are key players in the parts of the Soul King. So let me know what you guys think about this theory. Do you guys think this is possible due to the history that Aizen has with Squad Zero, believe it or not? Or if it's just for show?